If you think Bluey is just for kids, wait until it casually ruins your entire emotional stability. 1. Bandit got a tattoo he'll never forget. In the chaotic mini-episode, Tattoo Shop, Bandit makes the terrible decision to get a tattoo. At home, from his own kids, he sits proudly in a blanket fort tattoo parlor and demands something tough. He wants to look like a biker, a warrior, maybe even a villain. But Bluey and Bingo have other ideas. When the reveal comes, Bandit is horrified to find a pastel-colored unicorn surrounded by rainbows across his back. It's hilarious, but also strangely tragic. He truly believed they'd understand his vision. Instead, he walks away looking like the mascot for a baby shower. 2. No one survives. Working for Bluey and Bingo. In the fever dream of a mini-episode, butlers Bluey and Bingo live in a giant, ridiculous dream house with rocket boosters, 47 bathrooms, and a pool on every floor. Naturally, they need staff. Lots of staff. Unfortunately, every single job, from cook to scientist to floor sparkle collector, is played by one man, Bandit. The poor guy is pulled in every direction, breaking into a sprint every time they change their minds mid-task. Just when he thinks he can breathe, the house lifts off, leaving him behind. It's funny until you realize Bandit has basically become a one-man labor force. It's not a game, it's corporate burnout with glitter. 3. Detective Brown solves the dumbest crime ever. The mini-episode, Brownie Bear, the house is in chaos over a crime so petty it barely qualifies as one. Someone has been poking shoulders, repeatedly. To catch the culprit, Bingo hires Detective Arsenio Brown, a bear with serious focus issues and a habit of playing invisible drums during interviews. The investigation is shaky at best, but it takes a turn when glitter is added to the victim's shoulders. This genius-level plan reveals the guilty party with ease. It's Bandit. Of course it's Bandit. What starts as nonsense ends as a full-blown glitter sting operation. It's over the top, unnecessary, and completely perfect. Somehow, it feels like justice. 4. No family has it figured out. The mini-episode, Alongside, shows two kids living completely different lives at the exact same time. On one side, there's Roni, who starts her day with a perfect morning routine, brushes her teeth without being told, practices piano, and even makes her own breakfast. On the other side, there's Bluey, who wakes up by fighting Bandit over cereal, runs wild through the house, and builds forts instead of following any schedule. The contrast is hilarious, but it also hits a deeper note. These families couldn't be more different, yet both are loving and full of life. It's a gentle reminder that perfection doesn't exist, and chaos isn't always a bad thing. 5. Bingo unleashes absolute mayhem. In the mini-episode Strong Potion, Bingo wants to enter a room, but Bandit refuses to let her in. Instead of backing down, she accepts a mysterious vial from a shady vendor, claiming it's a potion of strength. What follows is absolute madness. Within seconds, Bingo becomes unstoppable. She tosses Bandit across the house like a chew toy, all while keeping the same blank expression. The whole thing escalates so fast it barely makes sense, yet somehow it works perfectly. The episode turns a small disagreement into a full-blown superpowered showdown. It's short, chaotic, and completely unhinged, but in the best possible way. No one walks away safe, especially Bandit. 6. Grandpa Mort refuses to go quietly. In the episode, Granddad, Mort is supposed to be taking it easy after a health scare, but he has absolutely no interest in slowing down. Chili insists on strict rules and rest, but Mort has other plans. He escapes supervision, runs off with Bluey and Bingo, and spends the day having fun like nothing's wrong. It might look like a silly old man rebellion, but there's something deeper under the surface. Mort knows his time is limited, and he doesn't want to waste it being told what he can't do. It's not just a funny chase scene. It's about independence, aging, and how even grown-ups still want to feel free. 7. Bluey faces a loss she can't fix. In the episode Copycat, Bluey and Bandit find an injured bird and rush it to the vet, hoping for a happy ending. But the bird doesn't survive, and for the first time, Bluey has to deal with something she can't undo or fix with imagination. At first, she replays the event through a game, acting it out exactly as it happened. But eventually, she changes the story, making the bird live. It's her way of trying to understand something too big for words. While the story is simple on the surface, the emotional weight is heavy. It's about grief, helplessness, and how pretend play becomes a quiet kind of healing. 8. Bluey builds more than just a wall. In the episode Rain, almost no words are spoken, but the message couldn't be louder. Bluey is outside in a storm, building a wall to stop the rain from flowing down the path. Chili tries to bring her inside, but Bluey won't stop. She's determined to finish what she started, no matter how messy it gets. What begins as a simple game slowly turns into something more emotional. Chili watches, then finally helps. When the rain ends, a double rainbow appears in the sky. Many fans believe it's a quiet tribute to a child the family may have lost before Bluey. It's subtle, beautiful, and deeply haunting once you realize what it might mean. 9. Gratitude tastes like icing and disaster. In the episode Duck Cake, Bingo turns her birthday wish into a near-impossible baking quest. She demands a cake shaped exactly like a duck, complete with a bill that quacks when sliced. Bandit dives into the kitchen like a reality show contestant who skipped the tutorial, scattering flour across every surface. Bluey tries to dodge cleanup duty until guilt drags her back with a mop and a sigh. The living room becomes a war zone of sugar, toys, and sticky footprints. When the wobbly cake finally stands, Bingo's tail thumps with pure joy. That single wag proves the lesson. Real gratitude needs sweat, mess, and one brave dad covered in frosting. 10. Bluey plays her way into the afterlife. In the episode Blue Mountains, what starts as another silly animal roleplay slowly shifts into something far deeper. Bluey pretends to be an old dog, reaching the end of her life, while Bingo plays her energetic child. As their game continues, Bluey grows weaker, eventually saying goodbye and climbing an imaginary mountain to reach paradise. It's presented as part of the game, but the emotional weight is impossible to miss. The quiet tone, the soft music, and the calm acceptance of death all blend into something surprisingly powerful. It's a gentle story about growing old, letting go, and finding peace, and it hits much harder than you'd ever expect. 11. Bluey didn't win the race, but she didn't lose either. In the episode Baby Race, Chili tells Bluey a story from when she was just a baby, crawling through life in slow motion while other pups were already walking, climbing, and practically preparing college applications. Chili felt like a failure, convinced she was doing something wrong as a parent. Meanwhile, Bluey was just figuring things out in her own time. The story is filled with flashbacks, guilt, and quiet pressure that so many parents carry but never admit. In the end, another mom offers the one line every parent needs to hear. "You're doing great." It's a milestone episode, not for babies, but for the adults still trying to keep up. 12. Mackenzie isn't just playing astronaut. He's processing abandonment. Space looks like just another pretend game, but it hits harder the longer you watch. Mackenzie, Jack, and Rusty turn an old boat into a spaceship headed for Mars. The others are excited, but Mackenzie keeps pulling away, insisting he was left behind. At first, it feels like weird roleplay, but then it clicks. He's not acting. He's reliving something real. He was once left alone in a park, and that moment buried itself deep inside him. Now, every game is a replay of that memory. This isn't just imagination. It's therapy dressed as science fiction. The saddest part? His friends don't understand, but the audience does, and it quietly breaks your heart. 13. Bingo flew through space just to find her mom. I didn't expect sleepy time to hit this hard, but it did. Bingo lies in bed while Chili tells her a bedtime story about the planets, and suddenly we're floating through space right alongside her. Each planet becomes someone in her life. Jupiter is Bandit's big warm hug. Pluto is the cold feeling when her blanket slips off. And Saturn steals Floppy, her toy. The whole thing feels like a dream, but it's also a quiet panic. She's small, lost, and searching for comfort. When she finally reaches the sun, it's her mom holding her close. That part wrecked me. She wasn't just dreaming, she was finding her way back to safety. 14. Bluey nearly breaks us with one wooden sign. I went into the sign expecting a cute wedding episode and came out emotionally steamrolled. This one's longer than usual, and every extra minute feels like it was designed to squeeze tears out of your face. Rad and Frisky's wedding nearly collapses. The Healer house goes up for sale, and Bluey spirals over, losing everything she knows. There's a pregnancy reveal, a surprise return of Grandpa Bob, and just when you think it's all falling apart, Bandit pulls the "For Sale" sign out of the ground like he's lifting Mjolnir. That moment should not feel so powerful, but it does. Somehow, this episode turns real estate into a grand romantic gesture. And it works. 15. Bingo accidentally discovers she's a rock star. While Chili is busy asking about violins in the drums mini-episode, Bingo is off doing what Bingo does best, getting distracted. She wanders around, poking random instruments until she sits down at the electronic drum kit and starts messing around. At first, it's just noise, But then something shifts. Without any lessons, without even knowing what she's doing, Bingo locks into a rhythm like it's second nature. The guy at the counter doesn't say a word, and neither does Chili, but we all see it. Bingo's not just playing, she's performing. And the worst part? She probably never touches drums again. That's the kind of tragedy only Bluey could make. Feel this sweet. 16. Unicorse turns a peaceful evening into a heavy metal nightmare. All Chili wants is 5 minutes of peace. In the Unicorse mini-episode, she asks Alexa to play something relaxing so she and the kids can unwind on the couch. But then, Unicorse shows up like a glitter-covered disaster and ruins everything. He hijacks the playlist, demands loud metal, and completely ignores any sense of chill. The girls are caught between trying to relax and trying to please a chaos-loving unicorn with zero self-awareness. It's loud, absurd, and painfully accurate if you've ever tried to enjoy a quiet moment and been interrupted by someone who thinks volume equals fun. Alexa never stood a chance, and neither did Chili's sanity. 17. 2 grandparents, 1 mess, and a week of silent suffering. In the Blocks mini-episode, Bluey and Bingo spend the whole day at Nana and Grandpa Bob's house, building a massive city out of toy blocks. It takes up the entire living room, and before they leave, they give their grandparents one very simple instruction. Don't move anything until next weekend. What follows is a full week of tiptoeing, awkward TV watching, and constant near disasters as the grandparents try to live around a fragile city made of plastic. They sacrifice their comfort, routines, and probably a few toes, just so the kids can return and keep playing like nothing ever changed. It's sweet, ridiculous, and exactly what grandparent love looks like in physical form. 18. John Luke vanished, but the feelings didn't. Camping starts out like a normal vacation episode, but then John Luke shows up and turns it into emotional sabotage. He and Bluey can barely understand each other. They don't speak the same language, but somehow that doesn't matter. They build traps, play games, and create an entire friendship out of giggles and tree planting. Then, just like that, he's gone. No warning, no goodbye, no closure. Bluey returns to the tree, hoping he'll come back. But instead, we're left staring at the spot where he used to be. It's the softest gut punch in the whole series. Years later, fans are still waiting for that tree to mean something again. 19th, Pat nearly starts a riot over party rules. In the episode Past the Parcel, Lucky's dad, Pat, witnesses something that shakes him to his core. At every birthday party, kids are winning prizes every time the music stops. No tension, no surprise, just automatic rewards. To Pat, this isn't fun. It's nonsense. He believes there should be only one winner, just like when he was a kid, and he makes it his mission to bring back the real version of the game. His efforts nearly cause chaos, but he holds the line. What starts as a petty complaint about party games turns into a hilarious battle over fairness, resilience, and why modern children apparently need consolation candy just for participating. 20. Bluey learns that yesterday never really leaves. Born Yesterday is one of those episodes that doesn't try to impress you with big drama, but it sneaks into your feelings anyway. Bluey wakes up convinced that everything was better the day before. She wants to relive it exactly, down to the breakfast and who sat where. Bandit goes along with it, even though he's clearly confused and honestly, a little tired. As they retrace the steps of a perfectly ordinary day, something deeper starts to surface. It isn't just about waffles or where they stood, it's about memory and how kids quietly hold on to moments without adults even realizing. This isn't nostalgia. It's a soft reminder that the little things are the big things. 21. This family should never be allowed near a courtroom. The family meeting mini-episode doesn't just dip into drama, it dives in headfirst and brings a full courtroom with it. For some reason, the Healer family decides to hold a trial to settle their latest disagreement, and everyone takes their role way too seriously. There's shouting, wild accusations, surprise evidence, and at least one objection yelled for dramatic effect. It's complete chaos dressed up in fake law and questionable logic, but underneath all the nonsense, there's a strange truth. Families argue, overreact, and take things personally, especially when everyone thinks they're right. It may look ridiculous, but it's secretly accurate. Justice is served, but only after everyone loses their minds. 22. Bluey grows up and breaks everyone's heart. In a good way. Right at the end of Season 3, the surprise gives us a blink and you'll miss it glimpse into the future. And it's almost too much to handle. We see Bluey as an adult, living her life, raising a child of her own. Bandit is older now, possibly retired, and most likely the kind of grandpa who still tackles people onto beanbags. Nothing is explained outright, but the message is loud and clear. Bluey turned out fine. Her family stayed close. Life moved on. It's the kind of subtle finale that doesn't need confetti or goodbyes. Just one soft look at the future, and suddenly, every silly episode means a little more than it did before. So, Bluey made us laugh, cry, and question the meaning of cake. But here's the real question. Which episode messed you up in a way you didn't expect? Let us know in the comments, and hit that bell so you don't miss the next emotional ambush.